Thanks for joining us. My name is Joel Samuel, and I am the pastor here at Open Arms Community Church. It's a pleasure to start a new series which we've called The Future. Have you ever thought about the future? Have you ever thought about what could happen? See, the future is unknown to us. We cannot predict what will happen to us in a few years, a few days, a few hours. We don't even know what's going to happen to us in like 10 minutes from now. In other words, there's a lot of uncertainty as to what is happening in the world and personally, what is going to happen to us. I found an article on Vice.com that said, we asked 105 experts what worries them most about the future. And here's a few things that they mentioned that was worrisome. One was the new digital technologies, artificial intelligence, automations that are coming out. That is a worry to some of the experts. Another thing that is a worry is climate and environmental changes. That is a worry. Science illiteracy and misinformation. That is where we're being defeated by opinions and we can no longer see what is reality. A lack of connection to each other and nature. There is a lack of mindfulness personally, but also in our connections with one another. And so we're not even thinking about each other, the environment, or anything like that. And one last thing that I wanted to mention, they're not worried about anything. You know, whatever happens, happens. But the question is, what about you? What do you think about when it comes to the future? See, the truth is, we don't know the future. So I want to go through a few verses that deal with the future, really. In Proverbs 27, verse 1, it says, "Do not boast about tomorrow, for you don't know what a day may bring." In Ecclesiastes 8, verse 7, it says, "Since no one knows the future, who can tell someone else what is to come?" And then in James 4, verses 13 to 15, it says, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Why? You don't even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it's the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." So in our society today, there's a lot of uncertainty about the future. The problem is we are worrying about it. We should plan for the future. I mean, the Bible doesn't say don't plan for the future. You should plan for the future, but realize that today is the day that God has given us. We shouldn't take each day for granted. Instead, we should put it in the Lord's hands and see what He will do. We then need to trust God for the future as well. In Psalm 118, verse 24, in the English Standard Version, it says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." I think one thing that we have to think about is this. This is the day God has given us. Today. Today is the day God has given us. So we shouldn't worry about what may happen today. Instead, we should remember that it's the day God has given us, so we should be rejoicing and be glad in it. We should be rejoicing and be glad in this day. The other thing I want to mention is this. God is sovereign. God is sovereign. And when we talk about the future, we try and figure out what's going on. We think, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And as we looked at in the previous verses, today is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Today is the day God has given us. So we need to rejoice in that day. Yes, let's plan, but let's put everything into God's hands. Why? Because God is sovereign. And I want to look at a few Bible verses that deal with this idea of God as sovereign. In Psalm 115, verses 2 and 3, it says, "Why do the nations say, 'Where is their God?' Our God is in heaven. He does whatever pleases him." In Isaiah 46, verses 8 to 10, it says, "Remember this, keep it in mind. Take it to heart, you rebels. Remember the former things, those of long ago. I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. I will make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come. I say my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please." Finally, in Colossians 1, verses 15 to 17, it says this, "The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible. Whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together." So you wonder this, who actually knows the future? As much as we try and predict what may go on, there may be some prognosticators out there who try and figure out what is happening, what could happen. Even in the Christian circles, sometimes we have people who say this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Who actually knows the future? It's God. God knows the future. He's the one who is there for us. Why? Because God is sovereign. And the truth is, God can do whatever he wants. He knows the beginning from the end. And he's the one who has everything in control. Human plans are limited and fragile, but God's plans are firm. In Jesus, all things were created. This includes the heavens and the earth, as well as all powers and authorities. In Jesus, it is Jesus who holds all these things together. Everything. So we can trust in God and align our plans to his. Trusting him brings peace and purpose. See, that's the greatest thing. We get worried about it, but we can't control a lot of it. We try and figure what we're going to do in the future. You know, we may say, tomorrow I'm going to get up, I got to get ready, I have to walk the dog, I'm going to eat something, go to work, you know, spend 8 hours at work, I'm going to come home, you know, take the dog out again, you know, whatever it may be. We try and figure out what our plans are and try and do those things. But sometimes other things happen that will maybe move things away from what we originally had planned. But you know what? The whole, we can get worried about it and be concerned. I don't know, am I going to be able to walk the dog tomorrow? Am I going to work tomorrow? Or we can say, God, you're in control. You've given me this day. So I'm going to rejoice and be glad in this day you've given me. And I'm going to go along with whatever I had planned. But God, if you change things, if you have me go somewhere else, if you have me do something else, it's in your hands. Why, God? Because you control the future. See, God controls the future. So I have a question for you, and I'd like to see what your thoughts are on this question. The question is, why do you think God doesn't reveal the details of our future to us? Why do you think God doesn't reveal the details of our future to us? So I want to hear what you have to say about that. You can put your comments below, or you can contact us at openarmswindsor@gmail.com. That's our email address, and we'd love to hear from you. So if I'm going to close this little study that we have off, I would have to say the best thing to think about is this. God is in control of the future. We do not have to worry. Let me say that again. God is in control of the future. We do not have to worry. And that is really, it gives you a lot of peace, because you think about it this way. God is the one who will deal with whatever is coming. And God already knows what is going to come in our lives in this world. And so as we go on in this study, we're going to be taking a look at a few things that are going to happen in the future. Some things that are guaranteed to happen. And so I want you to come and join us every time that we get together, and just let us know what you think. So I'd love to hear your comments about the question I had, which was, why do you think God doesn't reveal the details of our future to us? Love to hear your comments about that and just to find out what you think. And you know what? If there's anything that you may need, as I mentioned before, you can contact us. Our email address is openarmswindsor@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you. You know, if you have any questions about the Bible, any questions about Christianity, or you have some concerns, something's going on you want us to pray with you about, we are here for you, and we want to be able to bless you. So again, this is just the first part of our series on the future. Next week, we're going to be looking at something a little bit more close to home. So I hope you'll join us and be a part of this. So we're looking at the future. God bless.